And really the best, probably several games we had was when we had Dylan and Alfie defensive end. And that's going to be his position in college. And that way he could just play. He didn't have to worry about reading. He just played. And because of his explosiveness and his running ability, he could make plays. I mean, when he, in the playoff games when they were trying to throw the ball, they couldn't block him. When Laney tried to throw the ball, they couldn't block him. If Ashley tried to throw the ball, they couldn't block him. I mean, he just, that he'd require 2 or 3 people, to try to block him, and still he was making plays. So he just, he's a great player. Probably the biggest asset for him was just his ability to make plays, his speed. Football player. I mean, he's definitely one of our top 3 on our football team. He plays hard every snap. He brings a toughness to our defense, and just a very dedicated player. I mean, as far as work ethic and accountability, he's kind of one of the perfect type football player. I mean, he's the guy you can depend on. Not a very vocal leader. And probably we didn't do a very good job until later when we put Alfie and Dylan their defensive ends. They just, as far as our football team, they made us a different football team just because of their ability to make plays, on the edge. He could just make plays. I mean, he made plays if they ran to him. He made plays if they ran away from him. He is going to Liberty University. They've already offered him, and he's going to commit. And he's just a great football player. I mean, we played him at defensive back, we played him at tailback, we played him at slot. He was our punt returner and our kick returner. I mean, we've talked about this. As far as just an all-around athlete player, he's as good as I've ever coached. I mean, he's got great ball skills. Obviously he can run. But he's a good football player. I mean, he can do it all. Like I say, he plays great on defense, great corner, and on offense. Obviously we moved him everywhere. I mean, we tried to get the ball in his hands because most of the time when he touched it, good things happen. He led our team in tackles. Had never played before, and he had 97 tackles for the year. And it's just, I don't know what to say, but I mean, we were really, going into the year, we knew we were really short at linebacker, and Coach A, I think, kind of talked him into playing, and he never played, and most of the time you just think, well, he can help us somewhere. But he was here all summer, worked his tail off in the weight room. Even in the summertime, he looked good going through drills, but I thought, never hit anybody. I don't think he can do that. And I mean, from the first practice on, I mean, he improved every game, and it's amazing now. He's got a lot of colleges looking at him, some D2 schools, everything. Another great student. I mean, really, really high GPA, great student. He had started for us for 3 years on offensive line. And this year, he just kind of really stepped up. As a sophomore, he was, kind of feeling his way. And then last year, he played good in spots and, but this year, I mean, he just was unbelievable how he stepped up. I mean, the one game that we moved him to center, 3rd period on Friday, I mean, just incredible. I mean, it didn't even have a one bad snap the whole night. I mean, it's just amazing. And I mean, he said, Coach, I can do it. I know he knew every position on the offensive line. Left tackle, right tackle, both guards, center. I mean, he could do it all. And he told most people what to do. I mean, he just really did. I mean, he really stepped up this year and became kind of our leader on the offensive line. It's hard. But I felt like as far as he is probably the best kicker we had ever had since I've been here. Great potential. He wants to try to go somewhere, and we're going to make some tape of him next week, and we're just going to send it off and see what happens. Great leg. Practice, he was normally very consistent at 35 in. I mean, he was normally very consistent. Did a little bit of everything. He played some defensive line and played linebacker, but he ended up being one of the best defense players we had. I mean, he had a motor that he never stopped, and just worked extremely hard. Very strong kid, works hard in the weight room, and I guess his biggest asset is just his motor. I mean, he just plays hard every snap.